I just me away. That's hit me. That's recording us now. It's running a voice note. That's all.
You're just gonna try it out and see what happens then.
Well, that's just a voice. I'll always have. That'll be a record of the meeting that we'll have, but it's only in a voice file.
Yeah.
But there's a way then. If I had the app, the Descript app or the Clap app on that, it would then summarize that and it would hear the key points of your meeting. And then if you went further, then you would action each voice. It would train each voice. That's a wee bit further down the line. But I'm just kind of playing with it. I was doing it with Deborah this morning.
Oh, very good.
She did a great talk today, by the way. So I have a few more things to do with her yet, but we've been looking all about modelling and AI and stuff for her business. Deborah Lynch from my mailbox. Mark's already done one, but so I'm doing a follow-up project looking at Wendy Kennedy tools. We've done a lot. Then I had to pause because she was an accountant. So I didn't get seeing her in December or January. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. So we've picked up again.
And then they do parcels and all as well. So like December was.
December. She was highly stressed. Anyway, this is not to be recorded, but it's been recorded.
All right. So folks, thanks for your time. I just want to pick your brains, and we probably have another couple of meetings. So a bit of background. I suppose this has been on the table for over a year, I would say.
Do you mind for this recording just to say what it is? The initiative?
The initiative is DS3. So it's part of Peace Plus 2.4 Smart Towns and Villages. I feel like I'm doing a formal presentation.
I know.
Sorry, that's to do with this printer. I'm just going to keep going off. We are under pressure to get rid of all the printers for just the bare minimum, and Denise's team need one, and they thought they couldn't use this one. They thought we had one in our experience, and we have.
Yeah.
There only is one, and we can all use it now. Right. So DS3 Smart Towns and Villages 2.4. ICBAN, which is the Irish Central Border Area Network, way over in the west in County Fermanagh, they are pulling this together. They're kind of the agent, like we've East Border region here on this side that would take the lead in bringing partners together and putting bids in. So they are the lead partner in this project, along with seven councils. So we have Armagh, Clonbridge, Clough, which is how we have become involved, Mid-Ulster, Cavan, Donegal, Leitrim, Monaghan, Sligo. Another partner is the Western Development Commission, and they would take the lead on these connected hubs that are across Ireland, which I'm sure you're familiar with. So all partners are involved to look at a digital programme, Smart Towns and Villages, and the focus is for each of these councils to identify 3 or 4 towns that they are urban areas that they want to benefit from the project. The urban areas cannot have any more than 18,000 population. So the likes of Sligo, Sligo town, maybe would have thought of being their leader town within this project. They can't have big towns, and that's what they have to look at, sort of smaller areas. So really it's looking at I'll just go through this. So they're looking at data investment and monitoring platform, investing in new digital hubs, enhancing offering and experience of existing hub facilities, and as part of this project they're going to have 2 mobile fab labs. One's going to focus on your kind of core areas in digital, podcasting, screen, all of that, and the other one would be more an engineering type, product development type fab lab. And these fab labs are the lead partner for that is Leitrim, and Leitrim County Enterprise, and these fab labs will move around the whole project eligible area, all these councils including our own, for businesses and communities to benefit from. So then we also have digital mentoring. So there's 3 work packages. So work package 1, I think I have it all up here. Sorry, a paper's over here. Bear with me. So work package 1 is learning, which is where we come in. So we're the lead part. We've come to the table as the lead partner for the learning piece, which is delivery of digital skills, mentoring, workshops and so forth. Nothing accredited, just mentoring, and we don't have a lot of hours to do lots of mentoring with one person or with one business. So the maximum amount of mentoring anyone will get is about 15 hours. And we can bring people together in groups or individuals. Then we have interventions, which is the mobile fab labs that I mentioned a moment ago. Implementation of ICT innovation projects, and then legacy. So developing a digital strategy and legacy piece after the lifetime of this project, when it ends in 3 years' time. How do they implement? How do they take it forward? Ulster University is leading on that legacy piece in terms of developing the strategy, in terms of how this can all come together.
And who's leading in the interventions, Tracy?
That's Leitrim.
Oh yeah. Right.
So I sent these two. I hope
Yeah.
you've any chance to look at them. So
Mm-hmm.
there was different iterations of this over the I suppose number of months last year. In terms of partners around the table, I had to do a piece of work on. I'll bring it up here, and that was I could have done more on it. You have to suppose draw the line on it in terms of. Let me see. Digital. Matrix. So this is just, if you look at all the different digital supports that are out there, like south of the border, there's a lot of digital supports. I'm sure Kieran, you probably
Some idea.
yeah. So up here we have obviously the Go Succeed Transformation Fund. We've assured skills, innovate us, innovation voucher, skills focused tech start, Innovation Boost, Business Explorer, and so forth. And then when you go into ROI, they've got that mentor program for businesses, the digital skills, training, online vouchers, green business, leading for business, digital marketing capabilities. There's so many through Enterprise Ireland and other areas. Digital discovery, digital process innovation, online retail programs, so they have support for their retailers. Probably familiar with these. Skills Net Ireland, obviously digital support. So as we get through this, some of the partners, and I suppose maybe in terms of the enterprise offices were a bit sort of precious about there's enough there. They don't think this programme needs to be supporting businesses so much because it's all there. I says, right, well, we would have limitations up here. And it's not everything we can support a business with in terms of digital. It has to fit certain criteria. And they felt it's more open for them, no matter what they need, they can get the support. So when this started, and I was brought into the table because this was all support to businesses, and when we got to near the 11th hour, Southern partners were saying, we think we need this more for communities and for businesses. So it had a change tack where it was a set amount of hours, set amount of businesses were going to be supported across the 7 council areas, cross-border, and now as you can see from that, we have support for businesses and support for communities. Now, as we get into this, and I've said to Shane Campbell, he's the CEO of ICBAN, if it turns out as we get in, we might need to sway more towards the businesses. I don't know. There's a lot of work and a lot of groundwork goes into supporting the communities. So I would prefer if we were working directly with businesses, but there is going to be both in this project. We kind of left it open, but the way it's been broken down then, let me see. I think it could be. Council, yeah. So there's 140 businesses per council area. 140 businesses by 15 hours, 140 community voluntary. That's in the Southern Partners. Sorry, bear with me. So all together we have 300 businesses that will get an early stage intervention. So they just get a couple of hours just to do a quick check in with them where they're at with, and maybe give them some signposting. Out of that, 200 can avail of up to 15 hours mentoring.
Is that first stage early, like our baseline audit nearly kind of stage?
Yeah. And we don't.
Open stage really, wouldn't it?
We've got autonomy to come up with we're not going to do a big War and Peace document. Very 2-3 pages, whatever. Like that's where I take your advice. And what do we need on information? We don't want a big baseline audit document.
So I mean, there's quite a lot in the Go Succeed, even baseline audit.
Yeah.
And the Go Succeed starting your favourite. There's quite a lot in that before the client comes on board.
Yeah.
Our own baseline audit, for the first time for a business, there's quite a lot there before you agree.
And you don't want to spend your whole 3 hours getting information out of them. You want to chat to them.
That's right.
So just bear with me. I'm probably jumping about, but that's kind of what the numbers are like. And then we're saying there's 25 workshops, and this is across a 2 to 3 year period. Workshops be online. We want to have some physical workshops to try and you'll be having it on border areas, so you're trying to get businesses.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you might want to do something over by, Armagh, Monaghan border. We get it's not going. But so ultimately, the way this is going to be broken down, folks, is that we will look after delivery in ABC and Mid Ulster. We need a southern delivery partner to help us to do the work in the 5 council areas. Now, I haven't said that. In some of the parts of Monaghan or Cavan, if we can deliver some of it that's nearer our side of the border, we will. But ultimately, I have to go out to do a procurement exercise now to get somebody from across the border, but due to the fact of the physical location, we don't have money to spend the mileage of people's time. We drive, I don't have to do Donegal to do some mentoring, like, you just can't do it. So the half of Kieran said, oh man, we should go up to Donegal. Now, we might go up and do some workshops, you know, we'll have to sit and plan this out. I'm just going to sit and do a bit of brainstorm today and come back, and I really want to welcome your suggestions on how we deliver this and roll it out. I know what, taking the geographical area, I know what we can do, and we have to break this down equally between the council areas. Then we know what we're asking another delivery agent to do. Do we want to take complete ownership of the workshops? You know, we can look at that. So 25 workshops on a cross-border basis, mixture of virtual and in person, a little bit of budget for room hire, speakers, catering if we want to do them in person, but we will probably do a lot of them virtually. Just because we want people to be able to access them. And maybe we'll develop clusters. There's not a real tangible target in that, but we might, through the course of this, come up with a couple of cluster areas that, again, that'll feed into the legacy piece that Ulster University's doing. It's very important that although there's different partners looking after each work stream, we have to work very closely together as well on this. So, and then also University looking at a digital platform to help facilitate the networks after the project ends. So a little bit of network development there, which we'll feed into because we're obviously doing the one-to-ones with the businesses. Again, community inquiry handling. We're seeing a minimum of 500 beneficiaries. We're looking at community groups, people we'll need the councils to say to us, look, we think you need to go into this area, this community group, this space. We don't know where's the best. We need the councils. That's where they need to be giving us that information, and we're, I suppose, our first meeting with them on Monday.
And what about we can't link up with our community team? Oh,
yeah.
Not yet.
Oh yeah. We'll be okay with ABC.
Yes.
Mid Ulster, okay, but everything else we won't know.
Yeah.
Where's the need? 200 beneficiaries then to get mentoring, and then obviously to do workshops as well. So this programme then, what we built into this programme is that there will be digital champions. That's probably more the community side of things. So we've said there'll be 3 digital champions who will be out in the ground, drumming up, seeing what the need is, drumming up interest. They can maybe even do some of this initial work with those 3 hours as well.
So you're looking to procure 3 digital champions?
Yes.
Is that on a geographic basis?
We might have somebody here.
Is that a geographic business, the 3 digital champions?
Trying to cover the geography. So we have 1 digital champion for this area and Mid Ulster, 1 for 2 to 3 councils, and another 1 for 2 to 3 councils. So it's not working the ground native, somebody out there warming everybody up, feeding in the inquiries. So they need digital champion.
Who? Right.
Yep.
Okay, then we have mentors who will deliver the mentoring and deliver workshops. So obviously we have a team here that can help out with mentoring and workshops. Yourselves, we have other staff, we have part-timers, we can bring other people in.
Yeah.
And then we have and it's the same people that will, I suppose, support businesses and support community. Like the community group might need help with something, which we can do.
I can get you.
Some community leaders.
That's a nice rider. We'll get you.
Oh, it is okay.
So let me see.
Right.
Is that okay?
Sorry.
Yeah. So the proposition, I'm jumping about, is to increase cross-border collaboration and cooperation, engaging civic and business communities in the adoption of ICT solutions in community service delivery and economic activity, thereby creating more connected and sustainable rural communities. So I suppose ideally you'd be thinking, as we get through this, the mentoring and the workshops would tie in with maybe the next stages. They go and use Fab Lab and do some, experiment with some of the technology as well through the Fab Lab. So we're trying to connect it all up as much as we can. The goal is to develop one integrated multidisciplinary solution to engage 400 communities on a cross-border basis, which will be 875 individuals in understanding and using ICT solutions, which reconnect and rebalance the viability of rural communities with urban environments, and that's over a 3-year programme. Target, when you break down the number of businesses we have per council area over that period of time, it's not massive,
Mm.
but it's the cross-border. We want to be able to use the workshop, 50 workshops over the course of the whole programme, 25 aimed at businesses, 25 aimed at community groups, and how we, you know, try to bring as many into that as we can. So, yeah, so that's kind of the mentoring, and that's the digital, that's the learning package.
Mhm.
So-
May I ask, on the learning package, what are they learning?
So they're learning,
Just broadly, I know you maybe don't have specifics, but broadly, what are they learning?
okay, so I suppose if you go into the towns that will be nominated for, and as at the point of going to application, I don't believe the councils had nominated their towns. They said that would be something to do throughout the project, or at the start of the project. But you're looking at even like, I don't know, retailers or all types of businesses, like what do they need to learn in terms of how they're stuck in, not stuck, but you know, they're in maybe rural communities, small towns and villages. They're not getting the footfall. How do they use technology to advance their business, get more customers? How do they improve their digital processes? It could be a business out in an industrial estate that needs maybe to look at their processes. A lot of the stuff you guys are doing.
Yeah. What you're doing with Philip Donnan, for instance, would be perfect.
And now you're looking at adopting, you know, you're looking at AI and you're looking at other things. Is there anything there we could be doing? We have to find the need. That's the digital champions have to go out and see what the need is as well. We
Like
can't
the-
offer everything, so we have to have a menu.
What
We
our
have to take it
skills
down
are.
in terms
That's
of,
what I'm trying to get at,
Yeah.
because it'll vary. So on the retail front alone, you know, if it's shops, footfall in shops, you're looking at whole customer experience, what it's like to walk in, and how could you use technology to help you to do that.
yes,
But also from the e-commerce end of things, well, just point the phone, click, buy, go. Or
yes,
I've ordered beforehand, just picking up, you know, and there's lots, even with my mailbox are doing that kind of solution. So but if that's coming from the communities, they're saying, listen, we don't have enough, I don't even know how to use Shopify, I don't even know, should I be online, should I not be online?
yes,
You know, or should we all be under one umbrella if we are a series of 10 shops in a high street?
yes.
Should be all under one. You know, there's lots of things that I'm cautious. Just seeing this at first glance, and I'm thinking, how can you get something that's really going to make a difference to them? What's the real need?
Yeah.
And maybe that'll evolve.
Yeah, and that's where I suppose we'll be starting out with these early stage meetings, you know, engagements with them, which we don't want to be all about filling paperwork. We want to get down to the nitty-gritty, and you only have a couple of hours with them. Now, 15 hours, maybe you need to use some of the mentoring time, and it's really don't have a day, and then there's workshops that they, you know what they need, and there might be 5 or 10 workshops that they need to go to that'll help them learn. So the workshops need to be, I suppose, driven by the need as well.
And the workshops are also by the delivery mentors.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
And we could bring in guest speakers for that. I'm just going back here. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm just looking. Where do we put in mentoring engagement? Right, so, you know, these are some of the topics: augmented pictogramming, the all stuff you folk are doing, even using our YouTube channel, some of the content in there. Do you know what I mean? Intro to podcasting, video editing, setting up your first online shop, online effective e-commerce. The cybersecurity and data analytics is another one. Artificial intelligence introduction. You know, what are they? How do I document my business? Lean processes, mobile app, cloud. Like, there's so many. You could be looking at tourism businesses, Kieran. You could be doing a cluster there. Like, you guys know better than me. Basic IT literacy skills for some of the communities, and again, cyber safety, buying, you know, people who need to learn how to buy online safely. You know, keeping our young people safe online will be a big one in the communities. Considering a career in IT as well, and connecting people with local digital job opportunities.
When down
working
we get
smarter,
that
not
community
harder.
piece, isn't it?
Can you see? Trying to make that bigger? Is okay.
Okay.
These are ideas for workshops. We're
Okay.
not tied to the workshops. We need to
Yeah,
shape things as we see
I'm
fit.
kind of basing my thoughts at the moment really on 2025 where things are, you know. So like for these retailers, Instagram's big
Yeah.
now, TikTok's big. YouTube is a really important platform, but it's more for not so much on the retail, more on the like bigger companies research how-to videos, anybody explaining. YouTube's going to be a real player there.
Yes.
Podcasting goes cross-platform, so there's elements of podcasting that come into TikTok, come into Instagram, because you now can break it up, and podcasting now is increasingly including video. I'm just going down what you have for video conferencing. Yeah, I'm able to train and capturing, editing drone footage. Yep. There's loads. I'm even looking at those bullet points, and there's so much in them.
Yeah.
They were just all suggestions.
And it's good.
Based on what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are already doing all of
Yeah, I
this.
mean the whole e-commerce front is shifting so fast from somebody just has a wee device like this just to go tap. So
Yeah.
What's the reality of just having a tap service? Yeah, like Graham has here in Newry. You just tap it. And is that suitable for a local community, or do you go to something bigger like your Shopify or WooCommerce or something bigger? Do you need that? What do you need to be trading on? If you're a venture company, what do you need to say? Oh, I have to pay for the bike car. What do I do? What do I use? I have to pay to hire the suits. What the wetsuits? What do I use?
Yeah.
So now, out of necessity, what's happening with these businesses are embracing all of this now because they have to.
Yes.
Because the customer's saying, I don't have cash. I can't. Where do I pay?
Yeah.
Increasingly, the customer, none of our customers carry cash anymore.
Yeah.
So the cashless society will be moving towards.
Yes.
And going into rural communities, say, right, what do you normally do? I just don't have it. So I improvise. So
Yeah.
I think it's exciting here, and obviously this is exploratory. This first thing is
Yes.
it's finding out really on the ground what will work, because we could, even between the two of us, probably come up with a menu,
Yeah.
but that mightn't work at all, And
But it's when you to start from, and then we can
Yeah,
see where.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on the digital champion? So, the digital champion role is
is that like a program manager, or what is it? What is
See,
it?
there's a program manager. It will be a program manager that will be, because we are leading the whole work package.
Right.
We have one project manager role to manage it and make sure it's all happening and do the claims and reports and be
Right.
the link with the funders. And
Is
all
that
of
within the overarching, or just our part of it? Our part of the project?
Our part of the project. The main program lead and program managers at ICBAN.
Right,
So
gotcha.
we have a project manager in our work stream, because there's 3 work streams we've won. Leighton will have somebody, because they're looking at the interventions.
Yeah.
And then I think Ulster University have one as well.
Is that project management role? I'm trying to be solution focused here.
Yeah.
Is that administrative based, or is that out in the field, or both?
They'll probably have to be both. They will have to be out and about and go around the different partners, and see.
See,
They'll
that's
not
key.
be able to do this sitting here, I wouldn't thought.
That's
Not
what,
initially, anyway. When things maybe get up and running well,
key,
they might, I don't know.
see, that's what I'm good. You can say with there's nearly a full switch, and I base this on our recent skills focus program that we
Yeah.
did. There's nearly a full shift back to learning in a small group.
Yeah.
And people like even the tourism and I do a series of webinars, and there wasn't a big uptake in it. That's really good on AI for tourism, but the real learning is going back to people who actually want to come back and learn, and want to come back and learn from each other and in groups. Now you can't deliver the across to this all face to face, but there's a real recognition of both learning from each other and learning in a group in the community.
Yeah.
And there's a real demand for that, and I'm basing that on, we had 9 people through over 3 days and 2 days, 2 days customer service and 3 days, 1 mobile tech, 1 podcasting and 1 AR and VR, and we just got the top of the iceberg really.
Yeah.
But enough for them, and the feedback already, that was really interesting, I'd love to learn more.
Yeah.
Well, I can only do so much, and with 2 trainers, by the way, which you needed on delivery.
Yeah.
And that was a small group in our Barbridge campus, which has the facilities. But all of them really benefited from learning from each other and us being hands-on.
Yes, and that hands-on bit's key. So we have the businesses who are getting mentored in those areas, and then you'll be signposting them to the Fab Lab coming around, and then they use the equipment and facilities, and then they might need to do workshops after that. Like, if they need further mentoring outside of this, there's all these other
Programs.
provisions there. But they won't maybe have even heard of it or seen or tasted it until they do this. That's why it's only we haven't enough budget. This project started 8 million, 9 million. By the time it was going in, it was 3-point-something million. Like, it's not a lot of money.
And the
Over
Fab,
3
there
years.
is a Fab Lab in Dundalk that you've been down to?
I
No,
wasn't on it.
no, James has been down
What
to.
do you call
Ryan,
it?
Good to have a wee visit down there, you know.
Ryan and I have been down to, but that you're not talking about using that facility, are you?
No,
So
there's
is this a
two.
new build Fab
Yeah,
Lab?
there's
To
no
be
the
built?
mobile Fab Labs. It's going to be driving around.
And is it engaging the Fab Lab concept? Is it that concept as such? You know the way there's one in Derry, there's a Fab Lab in Belfast, there's one in
Yeah, bigger.
Letterkenny, somewhere else. But
Yeah, so there's two of them. One's like the digital technologies, and one's more the the media technologies. And one would
Okay.
be more your product design, your CAD. And
Is this like a bus then, this Fab Lab idea?
3D printers and yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So it has.
That
So
helps.
that's why it's important. Each work stream's working together. So when we have so many people mentored doing workshops, we say Fab Lab. What dates we need to get? We've people booked in, and we need to get these people using this. And it might come around a couple of times over the duration of the project. That's how it's all gonna work.
Right.
So it's like a mobile surgery nearly,
Yeah.
kind of way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
And that's also university you're looking after that, is it?
Leitrim.
Leitrim, yeah.
You've met Joe Lowe.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's Joe Lowe.
So I have a vision of a
Yeah.
camper, of some kind of like a longer camper van idea
Yeah,
being
pretty big.
with the ability to take appointments, 4 stations
Yeah.
with computers and whatever else,
Yeah.
like a converted horse box or a camper
Yes.
van or something like
And
that.
they'll have they have a role, a person who's actually our,
Okay.
probably technicians.
I'll tell you where I go straight to the thing we chatted about that. The whole idea of van life, you've come across that.
I'd go across on life, yeah.
Van life.
Yeah.
You're out on the road, you're meeting different people, very short snippets. You talk about your digital champion, very short snippets of here's where we are today, here's what we're doing, here's who we're talking
Yes.
to engage people with what's going on, what's available. We're coming to your town next, make sure we see you there type thing.
Yeah.
I think would be excellent.
Yeah.
A very short wee blog piece, just nearly even.
You see, there's provision for 3 digital champions. Now they're not. Let me see what way they. Again, it's all budget dependent or budget restricted.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to refresh myself here. I think
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
the 3 digital mentors are. That's the 3 digital champions, and then it's the mentors underneath.
The champions are to drum it up and to
Yeah,
sort of determine the
Get the
need and
sales.
keep the momentum of the whole program.
That travelling around idea lends itself very much to engaging people, I think. We're coming to you, make sure we see you type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Digital champions, there's 270 days, approximately 90 days per digital champion. Probably front loaded more to the start of the project. We don't, spread them out, but you probably have them more in the first year or two. Yeah,
So
that's why they have to be
That's
located
why
in their areas. You don't want them to spend a lot of time traveling.
but that's why they're not necessarily outsourced, are they? Are they more like, or are they like?
We said to be
Consultants or
outsourced, but they don't. Yeah, if we had to.
Digital champions.
It's
be
kind
looking-
of for me. I think there's a definition of what that role is for clarity is really important. So if there are 90 days over a 3-year period, or you're saying I think front load that
Yeah.
to, like Mark suggesting, to drum up support here. I get that. I think there needs to be real for that person to engage in that role, real clarity of what the role is,
Yeah.
what they got to do, what their targets are, and if that's still on the table to be decided, fair enough. But I
Yeah.
think for that to be effective, and looking at this now, I think first of all that needs to happen. But nearly you're a case of let's just see what we're going to design here. Try to nail that down
Yeah.
before you get to the digital champion. You say, well, what do you want me to do? Oh, just use your initiative, you know. And there's, in terms of a piece of work, I think nailing down nearly like a job description, but maybe not as tight as that, of what that digital champion role entails. I think it's critical.
Yeah.
And if I'm being direct here, I'm as I see things, I'm thinking of, right, if I was a small business in some of these communities, they're going to say, well, what is this?
Yeah.
What? Sure, I already get that support from Go Succeed in Northern Ireland, or I get that support
sounds
from
quite a
Ireland.
bit like Go Succeed.
Sounds bits of it do, yeah.
Right, I'm saying, sorry, digital champions have backgrounds and expertise in a range of areas, the practical experience of delivering solutions. Yeah, but there was something else I had there about, sort of, that they can persuade people to engage in this, that sort of, and make it very clear and simplify it for them.
But can the digital champions also be the mentors?
They could do mentoring as well, yeah, but because it's not full time, thought we'd procure people in to be digital. Like if you're Darren McSherry or people like that can come in and go out and I guess they can pick up some of the mentoring. We have our own team of mentors here, and
the thing about it is because
same person could be doing both, but
and because Innovate Us is going lower, and we need it might be lend itself more to people like him who have been using Innovate Us a lot. That there's more time.
Yeah. Okay.
And you see the businesses like, what's the criteria over the businesses? Is it ones that we've been engaged with before, or does it have to be brand new, or is there any criteria over that? Can we use maybe something that we've already used before? Or like wonder, or is that for us to decide?
I suppose it is. I suppose it's for council to decide what the councils will have to give steer on what types of urban areas they want us to focus on.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's more. We might have a bit more autonomy once it's in the council area at all. We can work with. We're not going to be stuck to certain towns if we can't get engagement, and if we can go out wider than that. But there's not really any criteria, just SMEs, micro businesses that need support with digital. So it's not as stringent as other pots of funding where there's eligibility criteria.
It's not necessarily Innovate Us, so it could be just a startup.
So 15 hours could be, for talk's sake, let's go back to Mark, go back to some of the stuff that you're doing, what you did with Deborah. It could be processes and actually bringing them processes or stuff that you're doing with the accountants. Or it could be on the e-commerce, just getting them up and running with e-commerce.
Yeah.
Or it could be some of the stuff that I've been doing, and we're doing with Cahill and like that. But there's quite a wide. That's not specifically going to be just e-commerce. There's going to be a lot to that.
Yeah.
Within a 15-hour window.
Yes, it'll be a mixture, because you do want to see some of it going through the Fab Labs as well. That they are. Maybe need some help that they're going to go into. Now you might have other businesses that they don't have to be the same businesses that use the mentoring that use the Fab Labs, but they have their own targets on the Fab Lab.
So I'm thinking of some craft businesses, and again I'm thinking of Claire Geddes, who Ryan and I are just starting to work with, and she's connects in the ABC area of a lot of craft businesses.
Yeah.
And she's kind of saying, how come the food business is well supported and we don't? I was talking to her last night, and she says so she's responsible for kind of setting up what would be the equivalent of a Lurgan Chamber of Commerce, but early days with that. Okay. But she's well connected in terms of businesses, and she was asking me, could we, some of the things we did, she did the Skills Focus program, and she says, could we use that and present something to council? And one of my clients is on the 29th of March. I said, I'm just going to stop you there. We're committed to the end of March just right now. I'm not saying no to that, but I can see what she's trying to do. And her need would be very much help them scan, if it's a bowl that they're making, if it's a potter, help them knowing how to scan that and how to go with the detail of it, a bit like the work that you did with Cahill on, remember the lady who had the costume? Yeah. Remember the real detail you were able to show? And then bring that, we're using Sketchfab and other tools, and then that really, really helped that particular business. But she said this would really help them understand how to sell this. So it's not 360, but it's actually scanning, being able to in 3D and bring that and then put that online so you could sell it. Photogrammetry,
technology in there.
Elements of photogrammetry, which would be really interesting for some of the more craft businesses. And then there's the whole
ones would be ideal,
and then there's a whole thing around, again, what we found out on the Skills Focus program on using Adobe Express it's limitless into
Yeah.
what you can do. That's just one Adobe
And
program.
they can do some of that. Well, they both could do their own business, or they can show them on the Fab Lab as well how to use it.
And I'm thinking the Fab Lab then would be somebody to 3D. This is where the Fab Lab, I think, is going to 3D print this.
Yeah.
Somebody, Ryan and I have a wonderful idea of the whole tourism, an idea of projects for the wider tourism sector is mementos. So you go to Rostrevor, you go to let's say the Game of Thrones, and on the way out you pick up your memento which has your name etched on it. So it's like your cup. So Mark was here on the date and it's etched on just, well, you pre-order that, or you maybe wait for it to be 3D printed, or in advance you say, well, next week's group are coming in, I want their names on this. So in the old days of the tea towels, but actually you've got something tangible, like a wooden spoon that you're never going to, oh, I remember my tour from Ireland, or I did that walking stick, it's my name's on it.
Yeah.
I remember that day of the date when I was there, but that's been 3D printed.
Yeah.
So there's a whole memento piece
Yeah.
with 3D and gifts that you could be thinking bringing into the Fab Labs.
Yes.
And that's all visitor experience. But I still was on the guided tour of the caves in Fermanagh, and then I got my own little model of stalagmites and stalactites with my name on it.
Yeah.
With a guide saying, yeah, thanks Tracy, well done on this day. That's going to sit very proudly up there.
Yes.
On my day I visited the caves, the Marble Arch Caves. So I'm thinking this, I'm trying to think this through, and I'm trying to think there's under promising all the time. I'm not saying we can do everything, because
No, yeah, we definitely
can't.
have to promise.
do you know
But when you go into a business cold for the first time, is there common things that they need, digital wise? Is there a common thread?
To me,
I suppose 3 years ago it's something different really what it is now. But what would you think?
to me, in the AT side, still e-commerce.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'd agree with that.
How do I sell this online?
Yes, we have that included there. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. And even at the very basic level, like I was up with Tittles there a wee while ago, and he just started him really into. We looked at the idea of starting his own website. He wasn't really on for that because he'd been quite not well versed in IT. Didn't really want to get involved. But we got him onto eBay that he could operate from his phone, and that was revolutionary for him.
Okay.
I can do this from my house, and I don't even have to come into the shop. I wouldn't need a shop all of a sudden. I could do this entirely online and hire a premises to store my stuff in. That'd be amazing. So that's a huge cost out of my way or whatever. That for most people that's a very basic thing. For him it was huge. So again, that's maybe your lower end micro business type thing.
Yeah.
For someone bigger, they want to go and design their own site with their own products and their own brand and build a whole brand around all of that. Which the bigger piece, it's worth 15 an hour.
Yeah.
But then you see, that's what I mean, there is supports for them in south of the border. They can get a lot of that support through programs.
Yeah.
So how do we use our 15? We can, we should be signposting. That's what I mean. This matrix is. We're not saying we should be feeding into some of these other projects that are there and fundings. We don't have a lot of that support. This, it depends.
The branding in the digital is quite lacking here, and as Kieran already pointed out, the things like Instagram, we can't really do that.
No.
But how do you use those platforms smartly and best for the business? And what about security though? Is it not a big thing as well? Businesses are asking for.
Only really if they're IT specific businesses. Average Joe's not really interested in security.
Maybe that's an angle.
So if they're IT businesses, yes.
How to manage client data, everything, compliance.
See, even the apps you're doing, like even you're showing the new like Visio and all that there kind of thing, like that would be quite good intervention probably for some.
Do that with a couple at the minute, the Visio stuff.
It seems to be getting more popular,
the
doesn't it?
processes piece,
Process mapping was one of the big ones on it.
Yeah.
So it is for onboarding clients and things like that. There, it was quite handy.
Okay.
I mean, we're still engaged, but by the time this comes to delivery, you're looking at what AI tools can help me in my business. So small business are asking you that. So if you go from taking the financing end of it, I mean, just sitting there with Sarah today, she was showing me some of her Power BI that she's put together. That's amazing, and she minimises that, but actually it's fantastic because that's a great way of graphically showing your business.
Yeah.
If you're pitching your business, pitching your idea. But for me, we think AI and people automatically go ChatGPT, but there's so much more than that. There is so much more than that. So what AI tools will really help me in my day-to-day business.
Yeah.
And there's a lot, you know, so that's not just digital marketing, that's so much more. That'll save me time.
Text image quite often.
Well, text image is fantastic. What I was maybe going to come from this example and when it come to is actually just, so why would you use AI in meetings? Absolutely. Well, how can it help me in my business? Great.
Yeah.
How can I want to write that report? What's the quickest way? Well, talk in and it'll summarize it for you and it'll structure it and submit that application.
Yeah.
Research and development, how can I use AI and R&D? Well, you might have to move to a paid platform like Perplexity Pro or ChatGPT Pro, but they've now gone a lot deeper in terms of research in what you can do. And Google's exploring that at the moment as well. So, you know, how can AI help me with a research and development proposal?
Yeah.
So a lot of businesses, maybe slightly bigger, are looking to put a proposal in, but they don't know how to go about it. So there's a lot, and only even if you take it's. I think we have to be careful in our role not to just say, okay, AI can do it. Show people.
Yeah.
Demonstrate. In simple
terms.
You demonstrate them. Actually, there's a lot there. And now in the whole world, I hope to get this Descript license through, but in the whole world of that and video, fantastic, absolutely. So what Adobe Express does at the moment, just simple AI, is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And what Descript does, and other platforms do that. They're all moving into that. Canva now has AI within it. You're going to find a lot of your content content creation, there's a lot in it. And you know, we spent 1.5 days in Adobe Express, and the business has got it. You know, so creating your interactive QR codes, not just a QR code, but making that interactive, again on your cup there, so you think, oh wow, something's to animate that in some way for it to come out. So those are all little add-ons to the businesses really need them. I think the core thing that businesses are asking us is, how do I grow my business? How do I sell more? How do I not lose customers?
Yeah. And
what nobody seems to be talking about is the power still of email. It's still valid in 2025. It's a very trusted source.
Yeah.
Why is nobody talking about email? Because you've got this email database that people will trust and will open. So for me, there has to be smarter ways of using your email database. I think has to be in for businesses, definitely.
Yeah.
You know.
Something else in my head there actually. Some of the workshops. I suppose if you think of the up to 15 hours, like what we would have done in the past with Connected, you're spending that exploratory time with them, and then you're signposting them into the support they need.
Yeah.
Like if they're ABC, signpost them, or then Ulster, Innovate Us, or whatever else. And then south of the border, they're getting signposted with our projects. Or you could, maybe they just need 2 full days of something practical with a mentor, and that's what they need, and they get that. Where, you know, we're not going to be restricted to oodles of paperwork. We just want to keep that simple, you know. So
that is the way. And
we want to design something that's really helps us define, you know, and helps us show an output, but it's not War and Peace.
It's not an online, like we're not recording this like an online. It's more like a paper based.
Well, I think there will be there'll be an online system for the programme. Yeah.
But I think with the likes of that, for me, you've your first meeting, 90 minutes, say, maybe maximum 2 hours.
Yeah.
You can't stay with a company. There's no in a day, so you're probably looking at a day set aside for the first day, and then an interim which will be online, and then the final day. In between, on the 15 hours, you may agree to do some screen recording of what you're going to do, what you've done, and what you're going to do, which will make part of that second session. You'll say, listen, I prepared a lesson, basically what we're going to look at. You'll have this as part of this mentoring program. You couldn't, you know, in that you're not going to spend 7 hours or 7.5 hours with someone. They'll not take it in, and you'll not be able to do it.
Yeah.
So your kind of delivery is more going to be that half day. If it's 2 half days, but bridged in between the 15 hours is you meet up to begin with.
Yeah. You
do some online work together. Oh, hi, I remember I was with you last week or 2 weeks time. Yeah. This is just that Adobe Express is really, really interesting. Yeah, no, I've sent you a screen recording. Here, go have a look at that before you send them. Prompt them in your own diary as a mentor. You say, listen, watch that now before we meet.
Yeah.
Then you have the online meeting in between, and they said, no, I'm coming back in 2 weeks' time. We're going to have our final 1-day meeting to tie all the project up.
Yeah.
That would be my kind of bridging, a wee bit of using, being hybrid,
but
using, it's still about that the difference though, and I'm using Claire Geddes again as a good example. When you meet her face to face, she gets it. Like she gets it.
I'm thinking as well the workshops. You could do some of your Wendy Kennedy stuff, couldn't you?
Definitely.
Yeah, we could do some workshops.
Powerfully.
Do a couple of them in a row.
Powerful.
Steps.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. And that's a good selling point for us. And then,
so that's me thinking on your delivery of 15 hours. That's me kind of thinking of some semi-structure around your 15-hour delivery, what that might look like.
Yes.
And keeping that broad enough to go from there to there, but being realistic. In 15 hours, when we get to what the customer's looking, you'll do something for them, of course you will. But it mightn't be, it's quite limited what you'll be able to do.
It is indeed, yeah. And we're looking at 28 businesses in the council area over that. It's not a lot, and then maybe 28 similar community groups. You maybe you go into a small group in a community and do something as well in terms of a workshop, or they're going to get mentoring. Now we might find we've more businesses than communities, and then there'll be more communities than businesses. I don't know. We could do 50.
The communities things.
If
you think of what we did, what Brenda and I did with the group on the communities that day with yourselves, you could apply that to ideation for the regeneration of a town, of a high street in a town, or even an economy in our village.
If they take out more funding, and
or how do we solve the social social problems in the village. What ideation you could use ideation models there, and there would be a lot if say Brenda again. I'm thinking Brenda being involved here as well in delivery. Brenda or myself or whoever else was to come in, you could do that.
Yeah, I think the mentoring budget is within our own staffing cohort for SRC.
As the staff goes.
Yeah, and then
which is same as
it's very hard from the outset to see. Because you have to be prescriptive if it's staffing costs or is it external people. We'd have to bring in more. I think we've got the mentors down as recruited or to be recruited, because we have our own mentors. We're not going to be procuring people, and it's mentors. It's on our own staffing.
On our books,
the digital champion might also be on our own books. I don't know, and then we have to sort out whoever delivers on the other side would sort out the digital mentors, and that would be their budget. Sorry, the digital champions. And the mentors.
I'm just saying, see, on the other bit,
we could maybe take more charge of workshops.
Yeah.
Then have we got the capacity? We've a good enough size of a team. We want to plan out what will we do in Wendy Kennedy. How many of the workshops will we want to hold for that? We'll think about that, and then we do others in different areas. It'll also depend on demand. Somebody could say, look, we do a workshop in X, which maybe we haven't thought of, and then we'll do that. We're not going to say from the start these are the workshops, and we're not moving on this. We can say these are the ones we're going to do, but there's a bit of flexibility, and we could do something different if somebody else.
The whole community, and I say this now, I haven't met the full team. Like it has, that was great.
Yeah.
So maybe think a bit more, and think broader. I'm thinking, like, of the communities that I'm in, and what works for us. And well-being is critical. And I come from the Growth Network meeting this morning, and the lady we just met to talk about hot yoga, and so I'm going to explain about it. Like, what she's based up in the Flag Studio. Marie's her name, and I've only done one yoga session in my life, but I should be doing it because of my blood pressure. I'm meant to do it. So, but I'm just thinking on a health perspective, like yoga, Pilates, walking, fresh air, the fauna and flora of our region, on our rivers, on our lochs, out on a boat, seeing. And you could bring elements of photography there or whatever, but that's all well-being. You bring people outside, it's totally different, their whole experience. So on the community side, there could be a strong link there with mental health and well-being, and the conversations that were had that Jared was talking about, in men's sheds and that kind of thing. Now probably well catered for more in the south than in Northern Ireland, but I'm just when you mentioned community and what this program might be, and if it's digital's at the heart of it, okay.
It is upskilling and use of ICT.
But digital connected health or something, there could be something there on well-being, couldn't there? I think we're not tied to very specific things, but it's just the model. It's just, as you say, it's getting that digital champion role. What is that role? Because that's the starting point, and those inquiries, those early intervention stages, then, because we probably will be we'll be kicking delivery off in September, you'll be saying, you know. We might even be able to kick it off a bit earlier in our own council area, but it'll take a bit longer to get it all sorted for the other council areas.
And you know, in Energetos, obviously there's certain areas we can't really deal with digitally, you know.
Yeah.
This is more open in a way, so
yeah.
we can deal with it,
it's a later touch, it's that earlier stage, you don't have, it's not that innovation focus as such. It can be, but we're not tied to it.
So it gives a wee bit more scope, really.
Raising awareness, the digital champion would have to know all the different supports that are out there, be totally clued into where, you know, what other supports the business can get beyond the life cycle of this as well.
I'm thinking way back about 4 or 5 years ago, the girl who we brought in for Instagram, she was brilliant. It's about 4 years ago, do you remember? Maybe during the pandemic. She was really good.
Home at Rose Cottage, what do you call it?
Yes, Rose Cottage, that's right.
Their names went out of my head.
Yeah, you see, you could have a workshop where a business is delivering and talking about how they've adopted X, Y and Z. It doesn't have to be...
And you pay them, basically.
Yeah.
Through this.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking on my experience in Camper Hire for You. I finished on Monday, but he wants to do a follow-up project around podcasting. But the learnings, the joint learnings between us, what's worked and what hasn't, and he's really appreciated all the help. And we embraced it. He's bought a new gimbal, so he's like that. He liked the 360. He loved the maps. He loved screen recording, and now we've been using Adobe Express to get his manuals to make them just a bit more presentable.
Yeah.
And also they're all embedded QR codes, like back to the explanatory videos from a health and safety, and he's got a new manual. So those are all really tangible. And I finished with him there, and he was explaining he still needs Instagram's working for him.
Yeah.
So he's got influencers on his camper vans, and he had a little competition, and he got 20 influencers back, and one of them had it for the weekend, and he says, Kieran, here's what I do, it's grand, but it's nothing like your woman here. And I said, yeah, but I said, well, horses for courses, you're not going to be an Instagram expert. And but he says, yeah, but it works for my business.
Yeah.
So we cannot, in what we do, underestimate the power of that, you know, and what businesses I think on the ground are going to be asking us to do.
Yeah.
Is e-commerce, Instagram, TikTok is probably what we're going to get a lot of demand for. So when I get that in my role now, I say, listen, well, we're not really able to help you with websites or e-commerce. I say e-commerce, yeah, but I'm not really happy with websites. I'm not really happy with Instagram or with TikTok.
Them in this program. Yeah.
So I would expect the social media, we've talked about it there, but to be probably from a demand-led, a real demand for that.
I think the process is one as well, probably.
I think so,
yeah. And then security would be one, I'd say.
Just steering our thinking here, you know, in terms of
delivery. That end of things would fall into the processes as well.
Business
improvement techniques,
in the office,
So it was.
Could you do a workshop on that? Yeah. Business improvement techniques.
Yeah, one of the most interesting ones that I found actually on the course was mapping a process. But once you get people into the idea of actually mapping a process, I want to print out this document here. Well, how do you do it? Oh, I just hit print and go and lift it. But you put paper in the printer? Did you have to go and look for paper? Did you have to go and look for a stapler to staple it all together? So all them wee ideas that, or you know, making a cup of tea, you just boil the kettle, pour the water in. But where do you get the water from, or where's your tea bag staying? Are they further away from the milk than the tea bag? You know, well, that's
you're doing that through the Visio.
You can do it through Visio, or just map it out. We diagrams. Visio is quite good for it, and then getting into timing each step. Well, how long does it take you to do that? If you moved the tea bags closer to the kettle, would it take you less time? You know, we thought process like that there, and actually timing it out was one of the most interesting things.
Yeah.
So that was again process mapping in a different sort of guise, but and timings along with it.
That's a good example.
Yeah. It was quite interesting.
It's a good example.
But even in offices, I mean, think, you know, the policies and procedures, like that Visio would be very helpful for me. You know, doing policies and procedures, you know. Well, so it would be very helpful to probably most businesses.
Even with healthy kids out there, we're doing even a map of who's looking after what areas, you know.
Yeah.
Kieran looks after, you know, football in ABC Council. Mark looks after hockey in County Tyrone or whatever it is. We're just mapping that all out to say who does what, where they're based, contact, whatever it is, whatever you're going to need to find out if you want event run in your area with this sport. who do you go to? Well, here it's all mapped out. This is who you go to, and this is
And
the
there's
chain.
elements of AI.
This is the chain you follow.
Elements of AI would really speed that process up too.
Yeah, that's using Visio again. That's another way of using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for Mummy's Meeting, you have is it like a project plan for year one, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just how it ties in with the because the council's gonna have the part-time roles within the councils to just try and make sure that they're driving from their own council area as well, so they'll have to link in with this work stream and then the other one on the Fab Labs.
Yeah.
And then also with the strategy. But ours isn't too bad. It's just a big geographical area. That's the biggest challenge with it. Once you get into it and see what the demands are, you sort of know what you're going to be working with. But I don't think we'll be too far away with these sorts of areas.
No.
The targets aren't massive.
Yeah. We're kind of doing it anyway.
28 to 30 in each council area over the duration of the programme. We're not going to need 3 years to deliver that.
No. I do think it is manageable.
It's it's the digital champion role is to generate the interest, is to go out and see what the need is to raise awareness of the whole programme and the support and generally everything digital that's out there, not just here but what's digital supports out there. They can do the initial 3 hours, or the mentors can do, it could be a mixture, it depends. So we need to tease that out. If the digital mentors are right, or if the digital champions are right and they're getting in the door, talk to people, they're with them, they can feed in, then this is what the mentoring is needed. Logistically, how does that work? If the mentors are going to have their first contact, you want to have that initial 3 hours. So the digital champion role is costed out, but that digital champion could also be a mentor. You can do some mentoring. We're going to need, it depends on the skill set. You're going to have a team of people.
Yeah.
Delivering different elements, different workshops, different mentoring.
A lot.
Yeah, it's defining the champion and the mentor.
For me, program manager, I think I think the program manager is an important role.
Yeah.
Of being able to liaise with all the other bodies of what it is.
Yes.
And just physically saying you're sending out a digital champion, whoever this person is recruited to do it. They need quite good guidance and they haven't got the time to liaise with. I'm thinking of all the different structures and people that there are, like within Northern Ireland, never mind south of Ireland.
Yes.
So this digital champion is going, right, you've got ABC and you've got Mid-Ulster, right?
Yeah.
But if the digital champion for this region goes into Cavan and Monaghan, they're going to need to get to know all the different lead agencies in those areas and the key people before they start to go into I want to speak to Sido. Like I was on the phone there to somebody in Sido. Yeah, but that's kind of evolved. So
talking that through, you're right. So the digital champion would cover those 2 council areas here, because they'll get to know the supports here, and then you have 2 for the other. So that's clear boundaries.
But the digital champion from an SRC perspective is has a Northern Ireland focus.
Yes.
Particularly in two distinct.
Yes.
Quite broad if it's Mid-Ulster Council.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah.
It's massive.
So up to
that's the Derry. That's to the Derry. That's up to like wow, it's massive.
But we can't cover it all. You're not going to pick 28 businesses all over. You just have to.
I mean, our natural alignment is to ABC, obviously, because we're used to that. So you're picking out Mid-Ulster, which, gosh, where's the southern house? Far south does Mid-Ulster go?
Mid-Ulster would come right down to Callan and Knocknacloy, right down at the border.
So Cookstown way up to the Sperrins, like.
I'm just at the edge of Mid-Ulster Council.
You're Mid-Ulster, not Armagh.
No, I'm just in Armagh. Once you cross the Blackwater into Callan and Knocknacloy, you're in the Mid-Ulster, and then that's Mid-Ulster. Right up, take it up till.
So Draperstown is Mid-Ulster.
Yeah, Balachi, all them places up the top.
Draperstown, Mid-Ulster, yeah. It is that, yeah. I'm just thinking of a Sperrin. It's my geography. Whoa, it's massive, a massive council.
I know, but this person will be out on the road across 90 days.
You could be. You could be, in terms of the project, depending on the guidance to this individual, I just think even before you recruit that digital champion, you need to get a program manager kind of and nail what that project manager does, whether that's desk based or out and about, and how much of that.
It's very the big admin focus, and they're coordinating all the different the councils, they're coordinating the champions and the mentors. They'll all be reporting to this project manager.
And is that the digital champion potentially somebody like a consultant, like an IT consultant that's already out there that you bring in? Or
it could be, or we might have somebody on our books that can do it.
As in not a full-time or team or either?
Well, if we use somebody in our full-time team, then they can't do the other projects. So
like a part-time?
Yeah. Somebody on the part-time register, or
just that brief needs to be so clear.
Yeah.
That's my gut on it.
Yeah, no, you're
really,
right.
Really, really clear.
Yeah.
To get the most out of it, and it's a hard road with a new program and not really knowing what it is. So I was thinking more the program manager would know. If the program manager is more of an administrative role and a management role, administrative but not client contact, as in the various funding bodies and people that are on the ground. If that's not the case, then the digital champion has to build those relationships with all the various individuals on the ground. So for example, going into ABC Council, let's say, so you've Lurgan, you've Portadown, you have Armagh, and all the other out centres that there are, right? You go in and who's the person I need to talk to in economic development here? Who are the key players within this ABC region? And then the same for that Mid-Ulster stretching geographically. I'm imagining from what you're saying is that digital champion needs to get to know who the key players are.
And they'll be recruiting the businesses onto this and doing that initial piece, and then feeding into the mentors. And then the mentors, now they might be able to do some mentoring themselves, or it's the mentors who come in and do what mentoring's needed, and they might come across a business that doesn't want or need mentoring, but they'll say, look, there's 3 workshops here. From what you're telling me, you need to be at these workshops, and then
I think you're requiring, you're needing the support for a lot of the two council areas.
Yeah.
Of the ABC, and I don't know.
And that's their, like, they have roles there to support the whole program with the Fab Labs and the mentoring.
So they've got their Go Succeed, so there needs to, which they're pushing.
Yeah.
And that's understood by us on the ground and the businesses we work with. That's understood. So when you're talking to a business, they're asking you, you're asking them how. Oh, yeah, I'm doing the Go Succeed. So you're either referring them on, or they've come to you as a referral from Go Succeed. But you're also needing these two counsellors to say, by the way, there's another program, and there needs to be in the communication of that a distinction between this and Go Succeed, which also offers 15 hours mentoring. For the council to push the message that it's not getting blurred.
Is there any particular criteria, the things that are not allowed under Go Succeed, or is it completely open?
It's a lot more open than
it's pretty open.
A lot more.
The clinker with Go Succeed is there is a capital grant that comes along with it on 50% completion of your mentoring hours. You can apply for a capital grant as well, which is nearly why everybody goes for it.
And is everybody eligible for it? Is it not a certain percentage, or?
You have 3 years accounts to show, and you have to get your quotes and all for whatever it is you're looking to purchase, and that all has to be approved. But as long as you're in business 3 years and you can show 3 years accounts,
the second element has been re-looked at the moment. It's on hold in most council areas, the capital grant. But yes, it is a reason, Mark. You are right. There is a reason why many are going for it. I just thinking, I'm talking aloud here. I don't in any way have this solution. I think what it's aspiring, the program is aspiring to do is interesting. I just think it needs to be clear, and it's not what it is, and the possibilities of it, and also the limitations with it.
And then the cross-border business, we want businesses to come together in workshops, and a bit of peer-to-peer as well, but that's not easy online. That's why you want to have some face-to-face.
I think that cross-border face-to-face workshops, a lot will come out of that.
Yeah.
When you're bringing these cross-border
And that's the
businesses, and I
hardest bit,
suppose
is
from
to
a
get
tourism
those.
perspective, definitely I've seen that.
Yeah.
That happens.
And we could focus some of them on tourism business.
Yeah.
You know, you could.
That happens.
We probably would need to have things around it.
Absolutely, and especially coming from the area where I live, for example, you know, a connection between Armagh and Monaghan is very natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about agri? Could we focus on agri businesses? Do you think for a cluster?
Nice,
Or,
Do you mean like not farmers, but actually?
Well, yeah, or
I wonder,
agri-food
like, are we open to doing that? Like, because if we are, that is untapped at the moment.
Yeah.
It really is.
I know
And
ABC
funny,
with
just
their agri strategy.
as you were talking there, I was just thinking of the agri strategy of the ABC Council. I've heard no more about it. Funny
No,
enough, so there
it's
could,
pushing an action
could
plan.
still be a void to fill there too, in all the things that were talked about.
Producers, yeah.
You know, yeah, because you know the way like a lot of that funding doesn't allow for private producers to do
For
this.
private
you know.
producers.
And can producers get any support from DARE at all, like from terms of digital support or business support? It's limited, is it?
Single farm payment. That's what they're
Yeah.
interested in.
Yeah.
Money,
And
but
it is because of dear. But it'd be interesting to know that actually. Is that with the same restriction as the private producers?
I'm
Yeah.
wondering. I don't know. Shane McMahon would know if there's a restriction there. We'll check that before we.
I mean, from the outset, there's still a lot going through my head. Okay, so from
And
the
that's
outset,
good. And
from the
keep-
outside looking in, I'm going. If I was a village community in Cavan, or in Leitrim, I haven't been down to Leitrim in a long time, but I'm thinking of different villages. So why do you go to Leitrim, and why do you spend in Leitrim, and what is it of some of the
Yeah.
villages there? What can they benefit from? Caledon, for example, the revitalisation is going on in there. What are the future plans? But what do you think of Caledon historically?
have you seen they're opening a brewery?
Yeah, I saw that.
In Caledon?
I saw that. I saw that.
In the old hotel, yeah.
I saw that.
Very
I
good.
saw that. But I'm just using that as an example because we our conversation this morning, and yet the three towns, the walled villages. I'm thinking, why would you visit that area? But if you're a business in that area which is suffering so much from no footfall, what's going to help them? So what's going to help them is a collaboration when somebody looks out, and I'm thinking back on our Google Earth stuff we did historically, and seeing all the shops, Google Earth style, and zoom it all in, and you're going, wow, didn't realise that, didn't realise that. And then that can go all the way in,
Yeah.
like we did with Cathal and myself, what we did this with being able to showcase traditional music in one venue in Denver,
Yeah.
and the same traditional music was played 30 miles away in Hilltown. And that's if you're trying to promote cultural experiences. They're going, I didn't realise that was on. That example just happened to be the same song
Yes.
that we still use, and that's 3 years on. But you're now going to be more inclined to go there and have an experience. So from the community end of it, what's going to help them in terms of visibility, of getting more footfall?
Yeah.
And digital experiences like that are going to do. Or
Yeah.
Cal did something in Newry, I know you saw it, like he still has it, and it's about 6 years old, and it's a poster, and it's of there's 17,000 tiles on it, and you just go in, and each individual tile tells a story,
Yeah.
and it's a mosaic.
Yeah.
So
I
that
did see that. Yeah.
that's somewhere in a village, the actual, so it's the size of that window on a wall, and you can interact with it. Or think of it in terms of graffiti, in terms of graffiti art and graffiti tunnel, that you go down and boom, something happens. Again, now it's AR related, but that's a tangible output for a community. Not so much for an individual business, but for a community, definitely it would be involved. Now you get the graffiti artist in to do the work, and then you're using augmented reality to bring it to life, and then that becomes a part of an AR trail, augmented reality trail.
Yeah.
But this is just, I'm thinking probably more the bigger towards the end of the project, and bringing businesses together in a single community. But all the things we've talked about, hands-on, people are going to say, I need help with surviving.
Yeah.
Survive this business,
Yeah.
I can't. So the big things in Northern Ireland, I mean, if you listen to Retail NI, Glenn Roberts on the phone, like, it's just, like, it's not good news at the moment.
Yeah.
And the business in Northern Ireland is saying, well, they're paying, we're about 9%, hospitality 9%, we're paying 20%. So staffing from the 1st of April. National insurance is whack up. I can't afford that. What are you talking to me about ideation and innovation? I can afford to employ people. So that's the messaging you're going to get on the ground from retail.
Yeah.
It's a big message. And even tourism, some of the more luxury end, but the guys who are, I can afford to employ staff. I just can't afford to do it because the living wage has gone up, minimum wage has gone up. And those are all reality checkers for us.
One of the ones that sticks out in my mind was the time we went to the agri-strategy launch in Bonnybridge, and I had conversations with the farmers, conversations with the academics. And one of the things that came out of the farmers was while the academics were all saying you need to embrace green technology and looking after the environment, one of the farmers says, sorry, he says, but you can't go green when you're sitting in the red. He says, that's what we need help with first.
That's a good point. Totally. It's hard to think innovatively when they're worrying about how they're going to put food on the table.
So it's kind of even, and I just like summarising this is kind of like things on, love the idea of efficiencies, like your example there of processing, mapping that out. What do you waste your time on? So even one of the hook line workshops would be, how much time do you waste in a day, in a month, in a week, in a month, in a year? How much time do you waste? Come up with here's a quick calculation. Oh, I've just wasted 7 days. Right. Okay, so that's time, but that's about efficiency savings.
And we did do that again with Philip Dillon, the accountant. What we're doing with him is reorganising into SharePoint and giving them sort of a file structure. How long do you spend looking for a client file in a week? But, I could spend an hour looking for something. And how many people do you have working here? 4 other people. And they're spending an hour each every day. So there's 5 hours a day between you wasted looking for files.
When you put it like that,
So there's efficiencies, resources, and a better use of resources and efficiencies would be one area. And I think surviving, keeping my sales at that line for the next year. And then how do I get more sales, whatever my business is? Show me how to grow the sales, but show me how to increase my margin. Don't be telling me to take on more staff. Show me how to work smart. Show me how to do that. How can technology help me to do this in your program? What digital things could I be doing that would increase my sales? And then I deliberately mentioned earlier on about the email because you spend so much time acquiring that, and that people, and it's a trusted source, and people ignore it because they think, I don't have. And you're going, well, why don't you just ask for their email address and target that? And go back. And I'm using the camper van example, Jer, and I says, but 80% of my business is repeat. And I says, I mail them out. So we acknowledge that, and it's going to continue. So getting people to meet him for the first time and experience a camper van, they're on the road, in many ways. Physically on the road, but they stay with him. Because of that loyalty is there. So the big message has got to be: do you ever go back to your customers? Certainly on the tourism side or the retail. If you were a small retailer, I'm just thinking somewhere in Warren Point or Hang Me By, they were to contact me and say, I haven't seen you in a while. Listen, we've got these special shirts on offer. Remember you bought from us 2 years ago? That just thought you might want to come in.
It would make you want to go back in.
Well, at least I say thanks. If it's a small retailer and you appreciate that, you're going to go in as opposed to going to maybe a big superstore if it's an independent retailer. So there's maybe a lot around that independent shop. Places were good to shop independently, and I'm thinking of Banbridge, and Banbridge is a town. It's a great wee shopping town. There's lots of Cookstown, another one.
We're not restricted to, there will be retailers. We're looking at the professional services and hospitality possibly, but you're also going to have other businesses there too, maybe more of your industrial type businesses as well. And what are they looking for? Probably same processes. Maybe selling line to more customers.
Maybe even with
inventory management, and then you have, I think security would be another one, wouldn't it? Cyber security.
Even just a basic cyber security, Actually, I'm thinking
cyber security health check or something like that.
I'm sure actually prime producers in agri won't be, when you think about it, if it's businesses, and that's hardly likely that it would be. Agri.
Within the council area, I don't know that we'd be totally restricted to the town centres. For the mentoring element, it might be happy enough that's across the council area. But maybe you could deliver a couple of workshops to that sector. But for now, it's it's working out the project plan, the timeline, because I don't think nothing's going to get started this side of the summer. Like, it's going to take a few months to get it all in place.
And one of the first things to do is just to recruit.
Yeah, the project manager has to be recruited, and get the digital champions, get paperwork. So I'm thinking back to our friend Daryl. Some of the paperwork that was in, it was quite short. It wasn't paperwork heavy. You know, maybe adapt some of those sort of templates and just use those from the digital transformation program.
Yeah.
There's little roadmaps. You don't kill ourselves with all that. It's just taking the initial pulse point, then a little bit of just a few bullets on what the mentoring covered, and then their next steps. That's it. You don't want to be. Don't have to kill ourselves.
But somebody, I mean, there's a wide list. I'm just thinking different. Someone might say, I'd love to do a wee bit of photography.
Yeah.
In the business, you know, and we have, you know, we have studios in Ballybridge there, you know.
And then the Fab Lab would help them with that.
You know, or you know,
the editing bit.
If we get a new camera, you know, we got a new camera. We put in for a new camera to a couple of the latest X4s. I mean, the X4s, amazing compared to the Insta-X2. It's amazing the difference, you know. But I'm just thinking about, you know, you could easily have a wee showcase, you know. Whether you get that done in the 15, I don't know.
Your time was like maybe the clinker.
You know, but anyway, you know, there's lots of that, and video definitely, gimbal, standing in front of a camera. That again, back to those single training days.
Yeah.
Many of them stood up in front of the room and hadn't had a conversation. Podcasting, two people put on headphones for the first time, and yet we got these natural conversations. Two guys from Newcastle, history of Newcastle. We record, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of, and that's just from some of the recent stuff that I've been looking at. And again, back to visibility. How do people see your business? What happens when they put an inquiry, go onto your website? No, they don't come because they come from another source. They don't come directly to my website. How could you get more people to directly book through your website?
Yes.
So if they're booking through other sites before they get, you mentioned Amazon there, you know, earlier on, but you know, or eBay. How do you get people to directly book on your website and it saves 30%? Or do you have the functionality to fulfill? You probably don't if you're a small producer, hence why you have an eBay shop or why you have Amazon, because you don't have that functionality.
Yeah.
That's something.
I'm thinking of Deborah. Deborah's in my head. Deborah's in my head this morning. Deborah in my mailbox and what she does, her services.
Yeah, the fulfillment service.
Yeah.
See, some of the workshops we want to do, if you want to try, I'm thinking that we have to talk to the councils. We have to see realistically where we could deliver in-person ones that are in sort of border areas. Try and start getting a few lists of places we can start looking at, but have in mind in our back pocket that we could go and book those places out once we get the plan in place. But the virtual, you know, say we want to do, so what way you could have as big an audience as you could, you know, you'd like, you know, what way do you deliver those now? Would you still be doing them through Teams, or what way would you do? What would be your preferred way to deliver? Say you have 50, 60 people that want to join a workshop. It's a big number if you want to, you know, it's probably interactive, but what platforms? We need platforms.
There's a number of different platforms, but I mean, we're familiar with Teams and the infrastructure. If it's going to be broadcast through SRC, it's gonna, I would say, you know, it's
have to use Teams.
Probably. Doesn't have to be.
Probably gives you a level of professionalism there too.
Yeah. Okay.
Using Teams.
I think there's probably
businesses can use Teams. Small business can get onto Teams. Okay. Or any of them having problems with that?
They can all go on the browser, can they not?
You can join to
the browser.
It's going to be their internet connection. You can
So
you
can invite them.
There's not the issues with Teams now that would have been in rural communities 5 years ago or 3 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
You know, but it's probably. Oh, Mark, you're the expert here, but I'm just knowing, having talked to Paddy Toll recently, it's probably the preferred if it's happening from us, because you get into other. I'm thinking of GoToMeeting, for example, and
the meeting was used briefly.
I'm just thinking of
Zoom, but IT would have had to
Zoom
install that temporarily and remove it. And
I join Zoom meetings, like a lot of them are Zoom.
Yeah.
I think advanced meetings are Zoom. It is Zoom.
Yeah.
It is Zoom, yeah.
Maybe so again an introduction and all the different ones. You know, like the Google Meetup and the.
It's just you're thinking of the audience and what's the best, what's accessible for them, what can they join more easily.
Is it to be recorded for?
You can record them, yeah.
I know a few people that I would work with would have said that too. Oh, it doesn't suit me. I'd like to go that, but it doesn't suit me to go at that time.
Yeah.
Oh well, actually, it's going to be.
That's a good point.
It's actually going to be on YouTube the next day. Well, that'll be much better.
Yeah.
So I can watch
Oh yeah, I mean the tourism and
usually
webinars are you don't get it straight away. You get it 3 days later. Now I have a notion that this could be GoToMeeting. I'll check actually.
The Go Succeed ones, I think if you registered for them at all at the start anyway, if you registered for them at all, even if you didn't attend, you were still sent a recorded copy afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way to do it, or whether you stick it on a Facebook or a YouTube page for everyone to view at any time, maybe it's another way to do it. But I suppose the initial query is doing it live. You want people to interact, is that the idea, or is it just here's me talking for a half an hour?
Whatever. Some of them you might have a small number and it's very interactive, and others it's more giving them lots of information, and then you have maybe a bigger group. But yeah, you want to be able to record. It's gonna depend, I suppose, on the topic. You might have a sector specific one that's only for tourism businesses or for another sector.
I think you're not going to have more than 20 or 30. That's been optimistic. You know, if you get 100, wow, fantastic.
But if we do record, you can check the view. We want to be able to record views as well.
Yeah. Oh, I certainly if you're hosting on something like YouTube, there's a view counter there to be used as well.
What about like even presenting with a wee bit of digital, like the Slido and stuff like that, kind of educating some businesses when they're presenting to be able to use some of them other digital platforms,
you're right. I'm thinking of some of the community ones. They might need a session on how to deliver webinars or how to present, and they might need
quite a good one you did on Restream one time.
Yeah, Restream,
it was quite interesting.
Yep. Yeah.
Which was
broadcast
reasonably straightforward but looked very professional.
Yeah. There's a cost to that one, obviously.
Well, there was.
Yeah. But that was a free version. That was a free version, but there are others. Yeah, I mean, so you're going. There could be a workshop on how to run live broadcasts.
That's into broadcasting or podcasting or.
How to run live broadcasts? There could be.
That'd be a good one, yeah.
How to run live broadcasts? Yeah. There could
how to engage with your audience when you're presenting as well.
Yeah, but do you remember Michelle Billam was asking about help? Remember to run Teams? I don't know wherever happened that, but anyway, that's going to be, for me, you're going to need whatever platform you say it's Teams. Yes, it has to be recorded. That's full stop. But I mean, that's easy enough to facilitate. That's not hard.
Just I'll maybe talk to Jim and Heather and that's something. And the councils will give more ideas. We'll get that together. That's okay. It's just getting everything set up now. And getting people into place, that's the biggest thing. Getting that digital champion tied down and get them in.
Yeah.
We're okay this side of the border. It's getting the people on the side's going to take time. 3 months.
Through
procurement, because it's going to be a big. It's over 30,000, so it's going to be through the whole procurement.
Yeah. And if you're splitting it,
It's just there's so much help, and Brandy, you probably know that. Remember the businesses that were with DKIT on the wee program we were on. Like a lot of them had come through various stages, various iterations of Enterprise Ireland support. And your guys will say, well, on your next grant, just go for this or go for that. So it's well established when you're starting a business in the Republic of Ireland. You've got Go Succeed here, but then there's the void. You do your wee program.
Yeah.
You
don't even get money now to start up. You used to get money when you started. I got money when I started my business, but it was 350 quid a long time ago. But it was still very helpful at the time. You don't get that anymore. We
could maybe start with a couple of workshops. We could maybe
to drum it up.
We could maybe in the sort of April to.
I'm kind of thinking you're going to need that. That is as important before even you get this digital champion, whoever that's going to be. Think to have a workshop of flavour. Listen, we're going to launch this in the autumn. We're going to launch or from the 1st of September on. This is going to be launched, but we're just expressions of interest and gathering and you can use your partners here to do that and go out. And I'm thinking of like places like Sido or other places, just partners that may be slightly different.
That whole partner working is going to happen over the first couple of months. Yeah.
I think that's kind of the way with any workshops that you run, because yes, it's all well and good going to the workshop and seeing something been done, but then afterwards you still have to go away and go back to your own business and implement that by yourself. Except now you don't, because we can come and help you do that specifically for your situation in your business.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of, could we run a couple of these workshops to the businesses in the early stage, and then you know, there's nothing saying we can't.
No.
I think being smart about this, you could again in the middle. I'm just thinking if I landed up or you landed up in Draperstown, places that I know, or Maherfelt, you land in the middle of Maherfelt, so you're not familiar with the business agencies there, and you land in there from SRC. Yeah, right, okay. What do you do? Have you not talked to have you not talked to such and such? No, I just landed up here, you know. So to do that, to land in there or other, you know, that
calling, so to speak.
You know, it's kind of where we probably in our own area could easily with the partners land into anywhere within the ABC Council area.
So you're the champion to do that. You know, we're
to break the ice.
We can't cold call for the mentoring. It has to be ready. The champions bring in the men. You know, it has to be there. See, the Southwest weren't a partner. It was only us. For the whole learning package, it was only us that was down to do it. So
why were they not a partner?
I don't know. Well, they have enough.
They've gone another
three or four projects.
Oh, have they?
Yeah. I don't know if they were approached. I don't know, because I came into this later on. You know, all the early meetings had happened.
You know, it would be obvious one to just lift the phone and say who's the key contacts and across the council area.
Yeah.
Of course, but also who
we
the key
get
contacts.
That from Nicola Quinn.
Yeah. Nicola would be good like that, you know, and who should we be talking to, and you know.
But the council contacts, the councils are in the steering meeting. So Jenny,
Ulster Council,
Julianne Spence. You know Julianne, she used to be in ABC and she was town centre manager.
Yeah.
So Julianne's been seconded across now into Mid Ulster, so she's the contact in this. So
she would have a contact,
So then there's a contact in each council.
Is she mayor? No, Julianne, I'm mixing her up. No.
Is she what, sorry?
Was she mayor at one stage? No.
No. She's an officer.
Officer. Right. Okay.
In the economic development team. Yeah. So, and then you have council reps from each of the councils sitting in this. So that's all part of this. We have to work together. They have to give us that information. And that's what we'll be saying on Monday. We need to start meeting with you. We need to start finding out who all these people are, and you need to tell us what areas you think we should be starting to target. And you know, we're going to be getting our digital champions recruited, and they're going to need to link with the people in the council. And the councils are going to have one role, albeit part-time, that's focusing on this programme, who's their go-to person. Like, who do I go to for this? So, but they're not recruiting that person yet, because they obviously need to get the letters of offer, partnership agreements, which are in, but they're not all signed yet, but they're nearly there. So they're like ourselves, they can't recruit until everything's over the line. But Shane from McBan will be hoping this will be further down the line, you know, but I think we can start recruiting. We can obviously start drafting. You can't appoint
the job
somebody
descriptions even,
or to start them until everything's done. Yeah. That's what I'll be working on, our job descriptions. So those contacts will be there once these people are all, but the council leads as such, they're on the steering meeting.